there guys, gals, and non-binary pals, GM Potter here. Welcome to my channel where I talk about books and bookish things. I upload on Tuesdays and Thursdays at noon Central Time. I am an independent author, an avid reader, and a cat mom of 4. And today we will be going over the 4th Dungeon Crawler Carl book, and that is The Gate of the Feral Gods by Matt Dinniman. Let's get into it. I'm going to try not to put too many spoilers into this. I apologize if there are spoilers. Like I said, this is the 4th book in the series, so some spoilers might happen. I can't guarantee that they won't, but I will try my best. So let's start with the book blurb. New achievement! Total, utter failure. You failed a quest less than 5 minutes after you've received it. Now that's talent. A floating fortress occupied by warrior gnomes, a castle made of sand, a derelict submarine guarded by malfunctioning machines, a haunted crypt surrounded by lethal traps. It was supposed to be easy. 1 bubble, 4 castles, 15 days, capture each one, and the stairwell is unlocked. Here's the thing. It's never easy. Carl and his team can't go it alone, not this time. They must rely on the help of their low-level, I can't believe these idiots are still alive crawlers, trapped in the bubbles with them. But can they be trusted? Welcome, crawler. Welcome to the 5th floor of the dungeon. I have all of these books in print. The reason I'm not holding it up for you today is because this one I actually listened to in audiobook format. If you haven't listened to the audiobooks, they are fantastic. It's hard to believe that one guy does all the voices. He does an amazing job. Jeff Hayes is the narrator. Like I said, he does an absolutely amazing job. He does all the voices. They all sound different. They're all consistent. Absolutely brilliant. If you're thinking about getting into these and you're not sure if you want to read them in print or an audiobook, I recommend, either is good. I read the first 3 in print, and then I listened to the 4th one in audiobook. I'm listening to the 5th one now. They're really good. So in hardback, they are this one is 589 pages. It's about 18 hours in audiobook format, so you actually really get your money's worth if you have Audible, and so it costs a credit. So it's a good long length and worth using your credit on rather than buying it standalone. Sometimes it's not always worth the credit. Sometimes, especially with Audible, it's worth just buying the book and saving your credit for something else. I don't believe these are on Libro FM right now. I think they're Audible exclusives, which kind of sucks because I want to support Libro FM. If you're not familiar with that platform, it has audiobooks. It's a subscription service similar to Audible, but you can get indie books and it supports local independent bookstores as well. The same way bookshop.org does. You can select which bookshop you want to support, and they actually get a cut of what you spent, in this case on an audiobook from bookshop.org. They get a cut of what you spent on the physical book. So both great services. I recommend them all the time, not just because I'm an indie author, but I'm a lover of indie bookstores. I have 2 that are absolute favorites here in the Dallas area, and check those out, especially if you're looking for something that isn't Audible to listen to audiobooks on. So, getting back into the book itself. Like the description said, this one takes place on the 5th floor. It's a lot. Like the description says, it's the I can't believe these idiots are still alive crawlers. They specifically made, they describe it in the book as bubble wrap, that it's a big sheet of the planet and everybody's confined to 1 bubble. And they typically put either one person if they're not in a group, or 1 group that's actually doing well in each of the bubbles, and then the system, the Borant Corporation and the system AI are stacking these in such a way that it's almost impossible to succeed. And Carl, in the most Carl that ever Carled in this book, finds a way to cheat the system because, his mantra is, you will not break me, I will break you. Most of the other crawlers have given up and accepted defeat. They have no idea how they're still alive themselves. They aren't putting forth a lot of effort into things. 2 of the crawlers that Carl's paired up with in his bubble have become, or maybe they were before, I'm not sure, alcoholics to the point where they're not even functioning. So Mordecai, the manager, cooks up a concoction, a potion to make it so that they can't drink anymore. It only works for this floor, but they don't tell them that. To try and sober them up, because the reason they've been alive this long is they have a couple of overpowered skills and a couple of overpowered items, but they don't know how to use them, and so they're at a much, much lower level than everybody else. For this one, Carl is in the air quadrant, I guess, and he's got to take out this castle that's like floating up in the air. There's sandstorms, there's all this horrible stuff, and true to the other books, there are things stolen from our world in here. Like, everybody who is an NPC in the book is stolen from their world. They may have either been left on the surface when the dungeon opened up, or they were taken as crawlers and used for this. And I do mean used. Everybody is being used and abused in this. And we actually get to see one of the houses that collapsed in this one. And it is kind of heartbreaking, like kind of really heartbreaking, because we don't have a chance in the book to dwell on it because there's other stuff that has to happen. There's a boss fight. They've got to figure out how to do all this, that, and the other. But you get a peek into the lives of some of the people who didn't make it. Or maybe they did make it and they're in the dungeon somewhere. They probably didn't make it. Donut says, I believe it's in the first book, I'm not as dumb as I look. I know she's dead. Like, it just... This book is a lot of action and a lot of comedy and a lot of... It's a fun ride. These books are fun to read in a shoot 'em up video game-esque. It's a lit RPG. That's literally what it is. It's a role-player game in book form without it being a choose-your-own-adventure. But there is so much darkness in these stories, like heartbreaking darkness, and people being corrupted by the system. And it's... Each book so far, I'm in the 5th book, I've barely started it, is darker and darker than the one that came before it. And Carl's mantra of "you won't break me" kind of hurt in this one, because he is changing in these dungeons, little by little. Like, he's not broken, but I feel like there are cracks, and it makes me a little nervous to keep reading the books, because we're seeing those chinks in the armor, because we're seeing the shell that he's built around himself to keep himself sane starting to crack. And it's absolutely heartbreaking. But we only get little peeps into it. We only get little instances and visions of it here and there. Like, it starts happening pretty much in the 3rd book. Like, we start to see the dungeon changing him in the 3rd book. But he doesn't let it... Like, it's not taking over. This book, the 4th book, I feel is where the cracks have gotten bigger. And I was talking to a friend of mine who's read all of the ones that are out, and he's like, yeah, because I'm like, hey, this is what I got from it. Am I onto something, or am I just reading out of my ass? And he was saying, yeah, that's kind of how it is that as much as he doesn't want it to, the dungeon is changing him, and not for the better. In the 3rd book, he got a book that's the Dungeon Anarchist Cookbook, which is the name of the book, that's a compendium assembled by the other crawlers, and we get to see more of that, and we get to see him make entries, and we get to see the other crawlers who have gone before him trying to break the system and trying to free everybody of this evil series of corporations. And so we get to see the cookbook more. And it's interesting because they're like, how did you know to do this? Like, he gets pulled into the principal's office, and they're like, how did you know how to do this? How did you do that? How are you learning? And he's like, I don't know, I just figured it out, because he can't reveal that the cookbook exists, because for whatever reason this is the secret that has been kept. I hope he gets to keep this secret. Like I said, I've just started the 5th book, so I don't know. No spoilers for me, please. I am doing my best to read these. They are very long. I have a lot of other books to read. I need breaks from these because the darkness is creeping in on them, but I am very much enjoying this series. I like a little darkness in my reading. I don't want everything to be all sunshine and rainbows all the time. I think that makes for bad storytelling. At the same time, I'm wondering if I should have been careful what I wished for when I was wishing for something a little darker from the first book, because I've definitely got it. Have you read the Dungeon Crawler Carl books? How are you doing? How are you doing with them? Have you finished all of the ones that are out and are impatiently awaiting the next one? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Again, no spoilers for me, please. I'm very much enjoying these. I know it's taking me forever. I read the first three in about 2.5 weeks, and it took me forever to read this one. And it's gonna take longer. I was hoping to get all the books that are out in over the course of 2 months. That didn't happen for a lot of reasons. Let me know what you think about Dungeon Crawler Carl. Are you thinking about reading them? Are you one of those people who are like, no, this is a cult, I'm not reading it? I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions down below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.